Hi guys, so I'm going to read Kingdom Come number 3. So this will be in my Superman playlist, the Justice League playlist, and eventually I'll make a Kingdom Come playlist. So that'll be in those ones. But Chapter 3, Up in the Sky. And he cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth. And when he cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices.
Another vision.
They're coming more and more quickly. Dreams of Armageddon. Certainly, you must share them. How else do you explain the road we walk? How else do you unerringly lead us to the tableaus and realities behind my dreams?
I see many things, Norman McKay, but the future is not one of them. I do not lead you. You lead me. Inexorably. To an imminent hour when judgment must be passed and justice served. Only you foresee the road to Ragnarok.
And with that pronouncement, we begin once more to wander the earth, like spirits. Time ebbs and flows around us. Many of the places I see are new and strange. Others, all too familiar.
Once the Kansas wastelands were stripped of radiation, Superman's penitentiary was fast completed. The gulag was built to imprison the deadliest and most uncontrollable of the superhumans. Thanks to its vast size, it was intended to house prisoners for months to come. Within 2 weeks of its construction, it filled beyond capacity. Still, the walls hold, thanks in no small part to the Gulag's architect and warden. Once the greatest escape artist of 3 worlds, scot-free is an unparalleled master of bonds and traps. Under his command, guards stand ever vigilant over the belligerent and the repentant.
They are guarded here for what purpose? So they can brood?
No, so they can learn.
It's really very simple. In this world, there is right and there is wrong.
Oh, yeah?
And that distinction is not difficult to make.
So where does robbing us of our freedom fall, oh great and powerful Oz?
Please understand our intent. None of you are here for punishment. You're here for education.
We're here because of Force Bussin', you stupid recording. How many different ways can you spoon you with that Pollyanna crap?
The powers we have, the things we do, they're meant to inspire ordinary citizens. Not intimidate them, not terrify them.
Day after day he talks to us like we're the bad guys. Who bagged Eclipso, huh? Who toasted Ra's al Ghul? Guys like us, that's who. We save lives, man.
We cannot act as judge and jury. We adhere to a moral code based on the preservation of life.
Easy for him to say. Did he ever have to fight the Slaughter Brigade? Man of tomorrow, my ass. Try men in the 1950s. Times change. But he still expects someone to live up to some cobweb code. He sticks us in here just because we don't kiss babies and salute the friggin' flag. I'm sick of this medieval thinking. His code's just as empty. As is his stupid hologram.
Sure you feel that way?
Uh-oh.
That must be why you opened fire in the middle of a human crowd. Why you thought it was acceptable to endanger an entire cable car full of unarmed citizens. I'm sure Von Bach would agree with you. We brought him in for killing opponents who had already surrendered.
Even as a wrath, I feel the air electrify. The prisoners are packed too closely. Nerves are raw. Tempers flare.
Slaughterhund!
Conflicts escalate. Von Buck, you alright, man?
You have a lot to learn, Von Bach. Get to it. Kind Grunund Cosmonaut.
And so this guy is speaking Japanese, so I don't really want to say that, but yeah, so he's speaking Japanese, this sumo samurai guy.
Ich wollte diesen Toten.
Excellent. The man by Luthor's side. You called him Captain of the Lightning? Captain Marvel?
Yes. His role in this war remains a mystery. Even to the old wizard who first called down the thunder for him. Even now, the wizard pleads for understanding from his brethren, the galactic lords and immortals, who are the quintessence of all power cosmic.
Please, I could love him no more were he my son, and he is lost. We must help him. We must help them all.
No more, Shazam. Over the millennia, we have often lent us guidance and wisdom to the Earthlings, only to watch them march proudly toward disaster.
Gunther is not wrong. The humans are not our responsibility. They are but motes in the cosmos, an insignificant factor in the grand life equation.
How interesting that you insist upon this, that you are all so concerned with how unconcerned you should act. Tell me, do you then dwell on this Earth's problems because you are so cosmically bored? Or is it just possible that you congregate in order to prevent each other from interfering?
Clearly, your conversation was not meant for my ears. My senses assaulted, I turned away, only to face a dead man.
Hiya!
You can see me?
Even though I got no eyes. Pretty wild, huh? Name's Boston. I'm a ghost. Nice to meet you.
So this void is your realm?
Mine? Nah. I just enjoy bopping around the ethereal planes from time to time. Always liked to travel. Used to be with the circus. I was a daredevil trapeze jockey. Now I'm the agent of a higher power. Can you imagine? Wait, who am I talking to? Of course you can. No offense, Padre.
Pastor. And no, frankly, I can't imagine any of this. Since seminary, I've been more philosopher than priest. In my church, I preach that God is not a person, but rather a force with many names.
Like Ramakrishna, for instance.
One that motivates us to master our own fate. I never believed in the old world notion of assigning a physical face to that force or its agents. But now, tell me, is the specter truly an angel?
Oh, absolutely. An angel of death. Don't get me wrong. He used to be a normal Joe. A cop, as I recall. But from the moment he got tapped by the big G to be an avenging spirit, he started to lose touch with his human side. Long time ago, he was a superhero himself. Since then, he's gotten weirder and weirder. And now, well, to tell you the truth, you can't be sure whose side he'll take in any of this. Capiche? And speaking of the angel, good talking with you, Padre. Don't be in any hurry. But when you get to the other side someday, look me up.
So then I flew him up to about, here. And I said, "Do you see that beautiful blue marble, Brainiac? That's my world. Return it. Now."
Did he hear you?
Actually, not in airless space. No, but believe me, he got the message. NORAD was back online within 5 minutes.
So did you destroy him?
Just short of. Buried some of his circuitry on Saturn, some on Argo, and the rest inside a Pulitzer in Clark's apartment.
Oh, that's funny. You never told me that story before. Gods, those were better days.
Easier anyway. Diana, what's this about being ousted by your own people? When did this happen?
Shortly after you went into seclusion. For years, I'd been the Amazon's ambassador to the outside world. My mission was to spread a message of peace and order. As the world continued to darken, there was some doubt as to how well I had done my job. My Amazon sisters, my own mother, came to suggest that I had perhaps failed. They actually put me on trial. I pled my case, but in the end, they decreed that I had, indeed, not changed man's world, that it had changed me. They stripped me of my royalty and my heritage. There may have been some justice to their decision.
Do you believe that?
The Amazons believe in strength, or peace through strength, too often. I relied on an olive branch and not a cestus.
I always admired your gentiality.
It didn't get the job done.
You did your best.
Then why isn't the world better?
There are degrees.
How many degrees were you interested in hearing about when you retired? You said it yourself once, Clark. Or Cal. We are all warriors. We have an obligation to wage combat.
Given who we are, Diana, given the power we possess, we have a greater obligation to keep the peace. Only the weak succumb to brutality. Those things never happened.
But they could have. And really, that's the point, isn't it? Superhumans can do anything they please. They can maim, they can kill. They've made the world a very ugly place. Fortunately, you don't have to take part in their world, do you?
No, no!
That's right. You'll stay right where I order you to stay. Our old friend Savina saw to that, didn't he? Here, let me get that. Ingenious little bugger, Savina was. Do you suppose that when they coined the term mad scientist, they were thinking of him? I'll bet they were. Well, rest in peace, Savina. Science marches on. The worms crawl in. The worms crawl out. Oh, no. There'll be no retreat. Not yet. I still have a very special job for you. Batman, there you are. Well, what do you think? I think that you authorized triple shifts without telling me. Strength is in numbers.
It took you a long time, but you finally learned that. Magnificent, aren't they? Between your design and my production, the Justice League doesn't stand a prayer of survival. Soon, we'll be able to crush them with an unyielding legion of steel soldiers.
I can feel your pulse throb from here, Luthor. Don't double-cross me. Our objective is world order, not world domination. Don't forget your agenda.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. Ridding the world of the League is a necessary evil. Mankind was never meant to bow before a Kryptonian and his ilk. My thoughts exactly. Once Superman and his toadies are out of the way, the Mankind Liberation Front can seize power. And with your little Robobats keeping the peace, return the reins of civilization to the humans.
Sounds like a plan. Then again, so does this. Can't we just drop a K-bomb on Big Blue Spit Girl?
Sadly, Mr. Queen, kryptonite no longer packs the punch it did in the good old days. As I learned the hard way. Chalk it up to the solar radiation Superman's cells have been guzzling all these years. He's at the height of his invulnerability. Once war begins, Batman, can your players advance to the front lines if necessary?
We'll be in place, Luthor. Obviously, we haven't the raw might to match Superman's army. But we have the fire of youth on our side. The sons and daughters of many of the Leaguers have come to lend their support.
And they're prepared to fight, tooth and nail, with the generation that sired them?
Aren't all young people, son? They're prepared to strike when I give the signal. I assume your tactical strategy somehow involves the gulag?
Why, yes.
Details?
Soon enough, in fact. I'm awaiting word myself. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I know what you're thinking. I do. I'm aware of that, old friend. But let's not do this telepathically. You won't stay focused. Talk to me. Just relax and talk.
Who?
In this form, in every man. Someone who so desperately longed to understand the human psyche that he finally, in one terrible moment, opened his mind to the world, and was forever shattered by its thoughts. He was once a Martian champion. Now he is not much of anything. John, can you verify? I will attempt. Too much noise! Too much! Shh. Shh, it's okay. What now? I want to stay. I want to matter. You don't think I'll help? John, you fought the good fight longer than any of us. You've done all that's ever been asked of you. And today was no exception. You've paid your dues, old friend. Go home and rest. Dream of red sands and silent stars.
Captain Marvel mills about, his eerie grin carving a swath through Batman's ranks. May I?
Oh, I mean, sure, help yourself.
No one breathed in his presence. What is he thinking? They wonder. What will he do next? To them, he is a shark trawling for prawn. I have heard him called the world's mightiest mortal. No doubt, the intimidation his mere presence exudes is uncanny. Clearly, these heroes regard him with a growing unease, accorded only one other.
Germany is all clear?
Check.
Austria looks clear.
In Italy.
Check. Metahuman activity has been abolished in Europe. Moving on to Africa?
Dropped a building on you? Put Power Woman and me both in body casts. Listen, I'm with you. I was all for the gulag. But throwing Von Bach into that cauldron is like poking a hydrogen balloon with a match. Superman's prison is pressure cooker enough as it is. He thinks he can get everyone to behave like they did when times were brighter. But even he can't turn back the clock. So tell him.
Me?
Roy, you tell him. Look at him. Can't a man with telescopic vision see the world around him?
Shh! He can hear you.
What happens next is, for the first time, my own fault. I have overheard Flash described as a man too fast to be contained by one plane of existence. Apparently, extra strata of reality are open to him. So settled am I in my role as a spirit that I had forgotten that fact.
Who are you? Where did you come from? Answer me, damn it! Why are you here?
Well, my name is Norman, and I'm supposed to... This isn't going to make any... Please, understand. A catastrophe comes. I see armies raised against you. I warn you. Warn? Me? He glares with X-ray eyes, looking for meaning to my babble. As my mouth goes dry, I can find no words, save those I myself had heard before. And the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up, and the sun and the air were darkened. Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Listen to me. I don't know who you are, or where you've come from, but your words are meaningless. Armageddon is hardly on our calendar. These are our grim days, but we have matters fully under... Holy God! Word just came in from the gulag. There's a riot going on. The prisoners have gone berserk. Then here's what we...
Flash! Green Lantern! Power Woman! To the gulag, now! Take control!
Through peaceful means.
By whatever means necessary. I want a status report as soon as possible. Ray, Phobos, be ready to follow if called.
You are finished here.
No, not quite.
Where did the old man go? Who was he?
I don't know. Why did you undermine my authority?
Why did I saw a crisis. I reacted in a confident and unqualified manner. The others need to see that sort of authority. From someone. Pull yourself together. We're overdue for a meeting with the UN. They can't help but know about the gulag by now.
Then I guarantee they're wondering when we start making up our own laws. Let's go. We have to convince them that we're the good guys.
Flattered that the mighty Justice League has finally deemed the human race worthy of conversation.
There's no need for sarcasm, Secretary General.
Forgive me. We're simply no longer accustomed to being advised or consulted. Imagine our surprise, for instance, to learn that the center of the U.S. now harbors a metahuman prison. You insist that, hard as this is to believe, it poses no prevailing danger. That those incarcerated are fully docile and eager to acclimate. Is that true, Superman?
Not entirely. The gulag is a work in progress. The League must find a way to guide those who insist upon working against the common good. I admit to some danger, but I chose to put the renegades together, where we can monitor them and teach them.
Inside a giant powder keg. Superman, the confidence and hope your reemergence engineered is fast eroding. Global economy is still catastrophic. World trauma, staggering. We will not risk another Kansas. I can promise you that.
Meaning?
Meaning that we must begin to decide some things for ourselves. Good day.
Stop looking so stunned. Do you honestly believe they'll sit back and let us solve the problem at our leisure? They're scared, and their fears may soon trump our solutions. We have to act. Cal, whether you like it or not, you're a world leader, and the League is getting tired of waiting for you to adjust to that role. As far as I'm concerned, if the situation with the gulag prisoners gets 1 micron worse, the League will be forced to take a final, decisive action.
Good news! The moment has come to begin our final strike. The gulag is in turmoil. The inmates are, dare I say it, revolting. Superman's prison has become a cauldron of hate and chaos. That's our cue to deploy our Steel Legion. But not before someone tips that scalding cauldron right onto the Justice League. Someone I've been saving for just such a task.
Me? But all our talks...
It's as I've always said. The superhumans are evil. You can't argue with that.
But...
Only you can ensure their destruction. I'm ordering you to demolish the gulag so that its prisoners roam free. Free. And angry. And easily eradicated in a war that no one can win. Save us.
No,
Do it. And worry no more about losing control. You won't. I've seen to that. Go ahead. Tumble down the walls of Jericho. I insist. Hello, Billy. He's not. You're kidding me. All this time? We've been in mortal fear of Billy Batson? I'd suspected it for a while, and John's telepathic probe confirmed it. It seems Marvel's dual identities are in quite a bit of mental conflict. All these years, as Batson grew to manhood, Luthor kept him in check by turning him into a stew of schizophrenic psychosis. But our goals... My only goal in allying with you was to learn your connection to Captain Marvel. In this entire global conflict, he was the wild card. And I hate wild cards. You double-crossed me! I learned from you.
Then may we assume you've given signal?
Absolutely. Strike. Ted, follow Luthor. Don't let him get... What the... No! No! Billy, stop! You don't have to run anymore. I figured out what Luthor did to you. Captain Marvel retired early, didn't he, Billy? Of all of us, he had the hardest time adapting to the grim new world around him. One sad day, he spoke his magic word for the last time, and vanished inside a scared little boy. Then Luthor found you, took you under his ring, told you the same thing the world was telling you, that superheroes were monsters, terrible, repulsive beasts, and he never, ever let you forget that you had one hiding deep down inside you. Don't think like that, Billy. He's twisted your brain around that insanity. The worms, they're engineered to secrete certain chemicals. Billy or Marvel, either one. They eat away at your mind. They're driving you mad, Billy. Don't let that happen. The world depends on it. You can fight. Billy, look out! Billy, no. Stay calm. I can help. Stay calm. Shazam! Damn it.
Batman, are you all right?
For the moment. What about Luthor and his men? Are they accounted for?
In custody, every one. What about Marvel?
No longer a wild card, unfortunately. He's still in Luthor's thrall. God help us. Take me to the cave. Now.
Yet another side of you I'm not comfortable with.
Get used to this one. A soldier unprepared has no business calling yourself a soldier.
More Amazonian wisdom. Isn't it possible that we've already won the big fight? Once the rioters are calmed, we can instill... Ow!
You always were a bit vulnerable to magic. Be careful. The sword was a gift from Hephaestus. It can carve the electrons off an atom.
And you expect to use it?
I expect to be a soldier.
I will not sanction lethal force against the rioters. I'm uneasy with the blade.
Not all of us have heat vision.
There are lines we do not cross. We have rules.
And the prisoners don't. That's why they're prisoners. And if they don't remain prisoners, you big blue Marvel teeters on the brink. You made the decision to incarcerate them all for the good of mankind, remember?
And maybe that was my mistake. Maybe I should have let the humans decide how to...
Hear me! Send help! For God's sake! Can you hear me?
GL?
We're in trouble. The fight at the gulag goes worse than we expected. The prisoners have already begun to breach the walls. They can't hold much longer. Nor can we. They've killed Captain Comet. No!
Comet. Gone. Just like that. How could they?
So, your world's finally turned completely topsy-turvy. How do we handle this?
I don't know.
Then I do. We're going to confront the prisoners and give them an ultimatum. They must surrender.
And if they refuse?
Then it's war.
But you can't have a war without people dying. Her lips brush his with the sound of marble scraping steel. It is a kiss completely devoid of passion. It is a final farewell.
I need your help. We've been through this already. Shut up! I don't have time for your holier-than-thou cracks. You're not above all this. Not now. Not with the stakes this high. We're racing to the end of the world, Bruce. I've got a half a second lead. But by all the stars in heaven, that's not nearly enough. The gulag's ready to blow. Yes, even as we speak, Wonder Woman and the League stand outside its walls. Ready to bring them down around everyone inside.
Attention! This will be your only warning. Abandon your activities and surrender, or face the consequences.
You mean to tell me you never imagined might come to this? Did you ever consider that a war might be for the best? That perhaps humanity's only chance is for the superhumans to swallow each other? Don't give me that! The deliberate taking of human, even superhuman life, goes against every belief I have, and that you have. That's the one thing we've always had in common. It's what made us what we are. More than anyone in the world, when you scratch everything away from Batman, you're left with someone who doesn't want to see anybody die. We can still intercede. Gather your forces together. We can be the world's finest team. Tell me you'll help me. I will tell you this one thing. There's a player you haven't counted on. Captain Marvel.
Marvel?
He's been brainwashed. Severely. Once. There is a good kid inside of him. But he's been driven out. And I don't know how you'd ever find him again. Marvel's headed for the gulag, Clark. He's going to break it wide open onto the Justice League. What do you expect me to do against? So that's what that feels like.
Without a word, my spectral guide opens all horizons to me at once. I see the air scorch in Superman's wake. I see the dawning horror in Wonder Woman's eyes. I see Ragnarok at last unfold. And worst of all, I see the desperate hopes of the one man who might yet stop it. Turn to ash and cinders by a single light bolt of lightning. Armageddon has arrived.
And that's the end of that comic. So I think there's an Easter egg here. You can actually see Spider-Man. I can't really point it out, but I have it zoomed in. Spider-Man, Captain America, and Thor. You can kind of see them in like the middle. So it's kind of a cool Easter egg. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. If you have any requests you want me to do, I'll tell you the date I can do the request. It's going to take it could take up to a month or two for the request to get done. So sorry about that. Yeah, so it might take a very long time. But yeah, if you have any requests, just let me know. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you guys later.